going to just ask you one simple question today. Why are you here? Is there a special task that God left you here on this earth to do? Well, I was challenged in that thought when somebody preached on Job 1:14 and 15, and there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabeans fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Job 1:16, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of God is fallen from heaven, and hath burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Job 1:17, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Job 1:19, behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they were dead, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Wow. I never realized it before, but there was 4 different servants that came to Job and said, I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Now, if I had escaped all of those disasters, I think I would sit back and say, why am I here? And I'd be more motivated to get something done for God. So I thought back to 4 different times in my life when I went through a tremendous situation that could have been fatal for me. It wasn't even close, but with just a little bit of timing change or something, it could have been fatal. First thought that I had was when I was in a fire during my, I was in 2nd grade, and I was asleep upstairs, and our house caught on fire, and my mom was busy getting the elderly folks out of the house, and I think she just thought I was out, had come down the steps, and I didn't get out, and the firemen had to come in and actually get me out of the fire, and I escaped. The second thing I thought of, and it gives me goosebumps every time I think about this situation. We were driving in Nevada during a winter time, and I didn't know it, but there was black ice on the road. And I was driving one of our big rigs, our truck, and a trailer behind it, and it started fishtailing. And I said, what do I do? And Kevin said, there's not much you can do, but just hold on and see what happens. Because we really didn't know. It could have been a big, bad wreck. And miraculously, God let me get out of the spin, and I went a few feet down the road and pulled off to the side and just sat there and breathed heavy, as you can imagine. And then another time I was going through near Louisville, Kentucky, and I come over this hill, and there was a truck beside me in the left lane, and I was in the right lane, and in my right lane also was a fire. I got over the hill and saw a fire truck actually sitting in my right lane with this big truck right next to me. And I said, Kevin, what do I do? And he says, I guess we're just going to have to pray. And all of a sudden, I just thought, I'm going to hit that fire truck. I just knew I was going to hit it because there was not enough time for me to do anything. But that truck actually saw the situation, and he sped up enough, and I just barely got over into the left lane to miss that fire truck. Oh, I can still picture the whole thing. You know how it is when you see something that's such a near disaster? And I did the same thing. I drove a little way and then pulled off to the side of the road and just sat there because I was just so spent with the fear that I was going to have a bad wreck. Of course, the fourth one, most of you know that our family was in a bad wreck in 2004, and I just walked away with no, not even a scratch. See, I only am escaped to tell thee. I'm telling you, I'm here for a reason. And just like I'm here, I'm going to challenge you to think back some times when you had narrow escapes and realize God left you here for a reason. Get out there and find that reason and do it. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice.